Once we've achieved that, then our next concern becomes the science and the research folks that are going to be associated with the airplane. So if they've attached an experiment or they're looking for specific data, we work with them to make sure that their equipment is working the way it should be and that it gets them the data that they're looking for.
You know, for us here, we work a lot more with a project. We're doing, sometimes we call it weird things with airplanes. So rarely are we going to point A to point B, or if we are going point A to point B, we're going up and down and up and down and up and down the whole time when we're going there. And our job is to try and get the people the data.
Fan on the speed brake, see its effect on pitch. That was a good one.
You look and, you still, even though you're sitting in the same desk, Neil Armstrong worked here. We named the place after him. My desk used to be right where he sat. Joe Walker, I sit where his desk used to be. That's where I sit now. And you still don't feel like you're worthy to be sitting where they were.
Air Pro 2.
I'll say one thing. These pilots are about the best test pilots probably in the world. They're very busy. They're either flying all across the world in sims, meetings, tech briefs. They make things happen at NASA and for the United States and the world. They're the first people flying maybe a wing that was modified or some modification to an aircraft.
We're not done with flight. There's a lot of research yet to be done in flight. There's a lot of gains yet to be accomplished in flight. And to get our job done, we need test pilots like Nils Larson, like the people he works with and trains.
Still a little bit of side-to-side motion on the stick, a little bit of pumping forward.
It's early morning and I'm watching the sunrise over the lake bed, and it's a beautiful sunrise, and it suddenly occurs to me, oh my God, I made it. I'm doing what it was that I decided when I was 16 that I wanted to go do. I always tell people that it's worth it, because it wasn't like I was just nosing the book, for 17 years. I had a lot of fun in those 17 years getting up to that flight. And then I've had a lot more flights like that since. So, it's totally been worth it.
It's extremely exciting. In my lectures, there are always young people in the audience, and they always want to know when they're bringing it back, and I always say, I don't think ever. I think NASA, they realizes that they have two marks, so to speak, but somehow they can be made to coexist. We had to analyze what had been done by NASA in the past. Finally, we realized that we had to have a unifier, something that was very strong to hold it all together. So over the process of working on it over the first month, I think we got simpler and simpler with our solutions so that it would work miles away on a T-38 or a rocket or a space shuttle. We were trying to embody in the logo innovation. The organization still had aeronautics as well as space, and so that you see a kind of nose cone design inside of the A's and propulsion, kind of upward thrust. Great simplicity, but still movement.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
The term worm came out of Florida in a newspaper down there, and it was meant to be derogatory, and I personally thought it was very derogatory. And eventually, over the years, the worm became a term of endearment, but it wasn't meant that at all in the beginning. When they started producing apparel a couple of years ago, they found out how young people in particular really like this program, and so they've allowed it to kind of come back to life on its own. It's validation, I think, of the sort of timeless approach that we brought to this. Space is about the future, and if we can still hang in there, and if it still represents that, then it's quite a victory, I think. You know, aesthetics aside, the goal was to do that, to hold up for decades, and apparently it's still it's got better legs today than it did then.
Mission and liftoff.
Touchdown confirmed.
Hello, United States.
To explore every phase of cosmic history.